How you doing, everybody? I'm Ken Bykoff, and welcome to this special Peegs post-game preview. This is kind of an opportunity for us to be able to see if this is working the way that we want it to as we're getting ready to start this whole effort that we have here. I'm pretty excited about what it is that we're going to be able to do when it comes to doing a call-in show. I'm very excited about all that we have. And hopefully this is again, part of this is working out some bugs that we have and being able to start up with this. I'm Ken Bykoff, and welcome to this Peegs post-game preview. Really hope that people can hear me and that we're streaming and working things along right now. If you're part of the chat, if somebody could go ahead and throw something in the chat and let me know that you could hear me, that would be absolutely fantastic. Really excited with this new venture. It's going to be, I'm really looking forward to how far we can take this format as we move through the fall. How we got here. So when it comes to the call-in show, Learfield didn't renew the call-in show, and I knew there was a desire for fans to talk about games in a call-in format, and decided to go ahead and pick up the ball. Thanks, Kevin, for letting me know that you guys could hear me. That's fantastic. So anyway, home games, we'll do the show from just outside Memorial Stadium. Road games, I'm going to do them from my home studio. I don't have the camera on because nobody needs or wants to see me. That's not a thing. That could change in the future if people really want that kind of thing. But I can't imagine why that would be the case. So the format of the show is going to be really, really simple. The show won't go live until after Don Fisher's postgame show on the IU Radio Network wraps up. Fish's show is great, and I don't want any of the listeners to miss anything on that program. It's also out of a ton of respect for Fish and Learfield for the 13 years they allowed me to serve as the call-in co-host on the radio. But once we go live, listeners can call 812-393-2600 and follow the prompts that we have. I have a bank of up to 5 callers at a time, so you'll be able to hear the show while you're on hold, and each caller will get their turn to say their piece about IU football. There is no time limit. We'll just stay live until the calls fade out. Now, if you want to talk some IU football or basketball right now, this is your time to call. The number is 812-393-2600. And that's the number, and lines are open right now. So fans will be able to listen to the show live on YouTube via the Peegs YouTube channel, and you could listen anywhere you'd like. That means connect your phone to your car radio on the way home from the game, listen in your backyard, wherever you are. There's no radio signal to lose. If you can't listen live, the show will be posted in its entirety on the Peegs podcast. Now, the show will replace the morning after podcast that I've been doing for years, but you'll get the same analysis that you've always gotten. A lot of times when I would record that, I would do the call-in show and then record the morning after and say a lot of the same things that I said on the radio, because I'm honest with people, and the way that I feel about the games is what I'm going to say, and that's the way that I'm going to continue to do it now. It will be recorded, and then we will put it on the Peegs podcast feed and go from there. And that is, hopefully I'll be able to get in the press conference audio in the podcast. I'm not going to be able to do that live on the feed when it comes to like live real-time press conference audio. The reason for that is that you have Big Ten Network rights issues, things of that nature that we can't really go with and get in trouble with from there. But after the fact, I can add it in, and I'll try to figure out a way to fit that in there. So that's where we're at. We'll see what the audience is for this format, and I'm incredibly excited for the show. If it goes well during the football season, we'll see if it makes sense to continue to do it during the basketball season. Again, lines are already open, 812-393-2600, Talk IU football and basketball. If you're unfamiliar with me, I've been covering IU football and basketball in a different capacity since the late 90s. Been on the IU beat here since in Bloomington since 2005. So this will be my 20th season covering IU football for Peegs and the old Inside Indiana magazine. And for the past 13 years, I've been the call-in show co-host for IU football. I'm a huge history buff, which means I've seen a lot of coaching changes. We have gone from Terry Hepner to Bill Lynch to Kevin Wilson to Tom Allen and now Kurt Signetti. Not to mention Mike Davis, Kelvin Sampson, Dan Dockich, Tom Crean, Archie Miller, and Mike Woodson. We got 5 football coaches, 6 basketball coaches, and 3 athletic directors and 3 IU presidents. So that's kind of what we're doing. That's my credentials here, and we have our first call. I'm very excited that hopefully this will work the way I want it to. It's time to take calls, so let's go ahead and start right here. Caller, you're on. What's your name and where are you from?
Hey, yeah, Ken, this is Kevin from Washington in Southwest Indiana.
Well, fantastic. Good to talk to you, Kevin. Thanks for being my first caller. Do you have a question? Want to talk IU football?
Yeah, I'm listening to you here and just wanted to call in. Just thank you for innovating and thinking of new ways of expanding the Peegs coverage. You guys do such a great job, and this is fun. I guess the only comment I can think of, I was listening to the Eyes on Big Ten podcast. I know those guys aren't professional journalists or anything, but they're kind of fun to listen to. And their perspective on the game coming up this Saturday is they think FIU is going to be able to score a bunch of points on IU, but that IU will be able to score a bunch of points on them. Just wondering what your thoughts are, what kind of game and from a score standpoint are you expecting on Saturday? I'll hang up and listen on YouTube.
Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you very much. Kevin from Washington. It's my favorite caller I've ever had here. You can call anytime. And actually, what I come down to, especially for the first game of the year, is you don't have a real good sense, especially with the new coach, about what exactly the team's going to look like. Because certainly the offense has had its moments in practice. There's a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. The challenge for camp is if the offense looks really good, does that mean that the defense is struggling, and vice versa? So in terms of what Indiana is going to be able to do, there are so many new pieces to it that I think it's difficult to say, and I don't mean that as a cop-out. That's just kind of where we're at. It is a situation where we just don't know. We haven't seen enough of them. Now, that said, I do think that this is an Indiana team that has a ton of talent in a number of different areas, and the secondary I know has looked good, has plenty of depth, has plenty of talent. So I'm hoping for a better pass rush than what we saw last year. You want both sides of the ball, especially at the line of scrimmage, to kind of handle what they're doing. And I think that, dominate that. That's something that's been missing a little bit from previous IU teams, is that you just have the offensive line or the defensive line hasn't done a great job of just being able to control the line of scrimmage. And that's what I'm looking for, is a good push from the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, a defensive line that can be disruptive, and a second level of defense that takes good angles. You have a lot of guys playing new positions and doing things like that, and I think that it's going to be a challenge to have everybody on the same page right off the bat. But I really would like the defense, the offense to come out and show that it can be dominant. I think that's going to be really important for this team because you want to get off to a good start. And it's not just a win. I say all the time, it's not how, it's how many when it comes to Indiana football. But in this one, I'm going to be looking for the how as well, because it is a new era. It's a new situation, and I want to see them come out and play well, obviously, right off the bat. So, Kevin, again, thank you for the call. 812-393-2600 is the number. And again, when it comes to a new coach, again, I've been around for a lot of these to see these kinds of things, and I got to tell you, it's exciting compared to what we saw at the end of the year last year. I know a lot of people were tired of what they had seen from Tom Allen's team. They needed a change. People wanted a change on the call-in show. People were talking all the way, is Indiana going to be able to do this? Scott Dolson made the move, and it's a move that it needed to happen. It needed to be there, and he came through with it. He made the move, and there's no question that Curt Cignetti has, for lack of a better term, won the offseason in that way, but being able to now translate that to the field is the important part. I say, when it comes to a new coach, everybody can be excited because nobody's missed a tackle, nobody's missed a block, nobody has taken a bad angle or messed up a coverage. So everybody is perfect at this point. It's just a matter of going out there and basically executing. Because this is not, I don't want to say a free year for for Cignetti and his coaching staff, but I do think that it is a thing to where they get that opportunity to turn things around very quickly, and that to me is going to be everything for this team. Number again, 812-393-2600. As you see on there, I'm going to put a little something on social media as well to be able to do this, and lines are wide open, so please give me a call in just a couple of seconds. Again, really appreciate folks checking in on this, trying these things out. I think it's really important just to try to get the bugs worked out. And again, one of the things that I want to be able to do with this is be able to go out and do it in the parking lot at Memorial Stadium on home games, and maybe be able to have some people on live with me, some fans on live to talk about the game. To me, it's a little something extra that I know we've always gotten, plenty of callers to call in and talk about the games. I've loved being able to chat with people. At times we felt like therapy for teams, and the fact that we're going to be able to do this live and maybe be able to talk to some fans live, and I'll hand you a microphone. I'm happy to do that, and give you a chance to give your 2 cents on IU football is going to be really important. In chat, or if you're listening right now, please give me a call. Tell me your thoughts on the Curt Cignetti hiring and your thoughts on how the offseason has gone for IU football to this point. Just really, really excited to be able to have the season up and running and to go and be able to see what a new coaching staff can do. Looking at my Twitter a little bit, and longtime listener Chris, or a guy that I guess has tweeted at me quite a bit over the years, Chris, he mentions that it is how, not how many, every possession, every play. I will agree with you on that kind of thing, that it's on every possession, every play. It determines how we're looking. At the end of the season, it's do you get the W? And by it's not how, it's how many. It's how many wins do you have at the end of the season. And so I understand what I've always understood what you're talking about, Chris. But it really is something where at the end of the year, you need 6 wins. You need 6 wins, and I'm really looking forward to just a little bit of a different attitude from this ball club, a different kind of body language. Because when you get down to a coaching change, it's an opportunity for everybody to turn the page. There's nobody on this ball club now that could know how the coaching staff is going to react to when a team falls behind, when they fall, they run into adversity. Nobody could fall back on, last time this happened or that happened. It's an opportunity for everybody, players, fans, everybody, to turn the page. This is an IU football program with very dedicated fans who are desperate, just dying for this ball club to win games. They people talk about fan support for a lot of different things. Fan support for these Hoosiers every IU football fan you talk to wants so desperately for them to be good, for them to give them a reason to come to the stadium week after week after week. And the disappointment that has been felt on so many occasions with this program, I think, is something else. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Right now, lines are open, 812-393-2600. I understand it is a Thursday evening, and this is kind of a first show test, but we're open. I want to hear from you. If you're listening right now, I definitely want to hear what you have to say. It is, I've talked to so many of you over the years and talked to so many fans that just want so badly for Indiana football to win. Curt Cignetti is interesting to me because he has been successful at multiple stops. He has a long career. He is intensely confident in what he's doing and how he's doing it. And, there is a difference in just how a practice is run, which changes from every single coach from one to the other. And his ability to take the Hoosiers and change the attitude, change the culture, change everything that goes along is really, really important because he is a fresh start over what we've seen over the past couple of years. It is a program that was successful in 17, 18, 19, 20, those years. And when I talk about disappointment, think back to, I think it was the first game of 21 against Iowa where Indiana just got blitzed right off the bat, and everybody expected the Hoosiers to, have something that year, and then they just didn't. And that was a missed opportunity for Indiana football because what you had that year was a successful football program from the 2020 season. Because of how 2020 went, where fans weren't really allowed at the game, you had two classes of underclassmen, sophomores and freshmen, who had never had an opportunity to go to a game. And the first game out, the fans showed up, and they showed up big. And then the disappointment started. And so that old culture of we're not going to the games, we're not, why are we going to be out there? It came up. And it was something that came back. And it was unfortunate because, it is really a program there. The players work hard. The coaches always worked incredibly hard. It just didn't work out that year. So now here we are a couple years later, and Curt Cignetti is the head coach. And once again, there's a ton of buzz around the program. It's a ton of excitement around the program. And the question is the IU team going to respond? And it can respond without worrying about anything that happened in the past. First off, there's, a third of the team is new. They haven't suited up for Indiana in the past, and so that's a big part of the equation. But the other thing is just being able to perform on the field and live up to some expectations, show some reason for hope. Indiana fans last year, under Tom Allen's last year, which there's part of me that Tom Allen, the college football world changed on Tom Allen in a way that the way that he was going about things wasn't going to work because of NIL and transfer rules and everything, to where he was building a family. And it's tough to build a family when you have players coming and going and maybe not playing for the right agenda. A change was needed. A change was made. Curt Cignetti is the guy now. And I've been impressed from what I've seen of the things that he said, how he has gone about things. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about Curt Cignetti to this point. 812-393-2600 is the number. That'll be the number all season. Lines are open. Please give me a call because I certainly want to be able to test everything out and get you guys used to how this whole process goes. We're going to stay on today until 7:30 is the distance that we're going today. But after games, we'll be on as long as we're getting calls. And I think that's something that hopefully we'll get a lot of them. And I'll be able to talk to some people in the parking lot as well. So 812-393-2600. Give me a call. You could also send me anything that you need on Twitter, and I'll read it live to you there as well. The whole point of this is, a post-game call-in show is a ton of fun. and it's a way for people to work out their feelings a little bit. I can't tell you how many times over the 13 years that I've been doing this that I feel like I was able to talk some people down, not by being all puppies and sunshine about IU football. Trust me, that is not something that that I was known for, but I always feel like I was fair. And that I was fair and gave everybody the shake that that they deserved. And also, again, just being around the program for a long time, it just really feels like it's a thing where we can sympathize with each other as fans. Because look, I'm an IU alum. I'm somebody who has, graduated from the School of Journalism in '97. I've never been, quiet about that. You want a team to be successful. You want it to enjoy it, and I know people want Indiana football to be good. And so being able to serve as a therapist, maybe talk some people off a ledge every now and again, has been a ton of fun, and I wanted to keep it going. And, with the new head coach, it is something that that is just a reason for a lot of excitement and hope for a lot of people. Hey, Matt, on the chat, good to see you popping in. That's fantastic. I'm excited for football season to be here, too. Again, number 812-393-2600. I'm going to need people to give word of mouth for this as well. There's only so much that we can do, and I know this will grow slowly, but being able to have everybody on board and be a part of this, I think, is going to be a ton of fun. If you're listening, give me a call. The number's right there on the screen, 812-393-2600. Call-in shows obviously work a lot better, and we're happy to talk IU basketball, IU football, whatever you want to do. It's exciting. There's so much reason for excitement this year. The quarterback position looks good. Looks like there's good depth. You have, a bona fide star at quarterback. Curtis Rourke was, Offensive Player of the Year at Ohio University. It's something that out there, I was able to get out to a practice and see him. I like the ball that he threw. I like his placement on the ball. He's played a lot of football, so he's been able to get online really quickly. And the other thing that is helping with that is two things. One is there are several James Madison players who followed Curt Cignetti to Indiana. And the other thing that goes with that is that the coaching staff, Cignetti brought a whole bunch of his coaches along with him. And that's been really important in being able to get camp up and running at a high level, because those guys know what Curt Cignetti is like. They have confidence in the process, and they're able to get players to buy into it really, really quickly because of the fact that they are able to be able to teach it to everybody. They know that it works. They can show people that it worked. Yeah, it was James Madison, but games are games, and you only play the teams that are in front of you. And James Madison beat most of the teams that were in front of him. And now here at Indiana, it's going to be, as big a challenge as Indiana has seen, or as Curt Cignetti has seen as a head coach with the level of play. But a good process is a good process. And being able to go into the year and sell transfers to come to Indiana to be a part of what's going on, I think is really important. And there's no question it's been an exciting offseason, one with a ton of excitement from fans. And please give me a call. I want to hear from you. 812-393-2600 is the number. And just really looking forward to what we're going to see. I'll shift to basketball here for just a little bit, because the basketball team, I think, is going to be incredibly interesting as well. You have Mike Woodson, who obviously is going to is not a new head coach, but it's a huge number of new players on that basketball roster, and there's a ton of talent that's there as well. How those guys come together is the question mark for me, because of the fact that you have so many new faces. You have guys that, transferred in. A lot of guys, guys left from last year. There's so many new names that are there, but still you have a star like Malik Renew, a guy like Mackenzie Mbako, Anthony Leal's still there, Gabe Cupp's there. There are guys that we know. I'm excited to see what Ja'Kai Newton can bring to the floor, but all the additions as well gives you a huge injection of talent. You got to make sure all those guys are here for the right reason. You got to make sure all those guys are here for the to play together and to not just cash in an NIL check. That's really important. And there's nothing to say that they won't be all on the same page and they're all here for the right reasons. We got to see it on the field, though, on the court. I mean, that's going to be really important. I think Indiana has done a good job of adding to depth in the front court. They've done a good job of adding athleticism. There's plenty of experience. So I think it's going to be an exciting basketball season. Hopefully we'll have an exciting football season, though, leading into that. Number 812-393-2600. You want to talk IU football and basketball. And, again, I understand we haven't played a game in a long time, and this show is on a Thursday night. That's just kind of a preview of how things are going to work. For those of you who may have tuned in a little bit later, I just wanted to explain again the format of this. The post-game show, the Peegs post-game, won't go live until after Fish's post-game show on the IU Radio Network. Again, that's because that's out of my respect for Fish and for Learfield and the opportunity that they gave me during my 13 years as call-in show head coach. Once we do go live, listeners are going to be able to call 812-393-2600 and follow the prompts. I can have a bank of up to 5 callers at one time, so you'll be able to hear the show while you're on hold, and everybody will get their chance to say their piece about IU football. There's no time limit. We'll just stay live until the calls fade out. Fans could listen to the show live on YouTube or via the Peegs YouTube channel. And that means that you could bring it up on your phone if you're out mowing the lawn after the game. If you're in the car, you could hook it up to your radio. Anywhere that you like to listen to. There's no radio signal to lose. It's all up to your wireless connection or your cell connection. That is where it's at. And if you can't listen live, the show is going to be posted in its entirety through the Peegs podcast, which hopefully you're a subscriber of. The show will replace the morning after podcast that I've been doing for years, but it'll be the same analysis that you've always gotten. Often I'd say the same thing on the podcast that I did on the radio show anyway. And we'll see what the format is like as things go forward, because I would love to be able to take this and really build it. And I know it's going to start slow, and we're going to have to build it, and word's going to have to get around. And I'm counting on you to help out with that, because we have a great community at Peegs.com, and there's a great community of listeners that are out there who want to talk about IU football, need to talk about IU football, and I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and I could sympathize with you. So we only have a couple minutes left here, but I wanted to thank the people that have come and checked the show out and saw what was going on, what it'll look like. I'm very excited for this, and I'm just really could not be more anxious for Saturday to get here to see a new era of IU football with Kurt Signetti, and I appreciate it. I thank you for all your time. I'm going to wrap things up here, but before we go, that's all the time we have on this week on the Peegs postgame. I want to thank you for listening, and I want to remind you to visit Peegs.com for the very best in IU football and basketball coverage you're going to find anywhere. Nobody covers Hoosier recruiting better than Jeff Rabjohns, Matt Weaver, Trender Endershock, and Jared Kelly. So come be a part of a thriving and exciting community at Peegs.com. Folks, you are not going to be disappointed. Folks, we're out of time, but for now, and for Jeff, Matt, Trevor, and Jared, I'm Ken Bykoff saying thanks for listening, everybody.